Ryan55 here, playing the Rage tournament, and I think I kind of made this Goblin Giant Sparky deck with Mirror. I think it's probably the best deck in the game for this challenge. Obviously, the real Goblin Giant Sparky deck has a Rage spell in it, but you don't really need that Rage spell since obviously you're playing the Rage challenge. And yeah, I threw in E-Barbs, obviously Mini P.E.K.K.A.'s in there. I have no Dark Prince, but I have Mega Minion Bats for some air defense. I've got the Zap for my spell. And yeah, I think this deck is really good. All the cards are super good synchrony. And yeah, I mean, they just go together super well. The bats, I think, are not usually in there, but they just are so good, so cheap. And if your opponent doesn't spell them, they get so much value. Our opponent also appears to be playing some sort of Sparky deck with Mini P.E.K.K.A., Dark Prince, Mega Minion. Yeah, so at this point, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to see, wait on him. And with this deck, I mean, it's no skill, realistically. You can just go mirrored Sparkies, mirrored Goblin Giants, mirrored E-Barbs, whatever. It requires little to no skill. Super easy to learn. I'm just waiting on my opponent. He goes Sparky. I'll go mirrored Sparky in the back. I'll drop 13 Elixir of Sparkies. I don't care. I go with a Zap here to try to... I was going to kill his Sparky with mine there, since I got Zap, but he does get down a pretty good Ewiz in time, which zaps my Sparky and resets it. Again, he zaps my Sparky, so my Bats just gets so much value. And my mirrored up level 13 Sparky still kills off his Mini P.E.K.K.A., just getting us some good Elixir trades all over the board. And E-Barb got us a ton of damage to start, and then, so that was good. Mega Minion gets a couple hits on the right as well. I try a Goblin Giant Kite here. The Mega Minion does get one hit on the Gob Giant, but it is what it is. And our Goblin Giant, despite going right into a Sparky, that Rage just makes it go so fast, and it gets a bunch of damage on the tower. And also, the Spear Goblin's DPS on the Sparky pretty good there. I go with E-Barbs here, and an absolutely incredible Zap, just letting my E-Barbs die. It just doesn't matter, though. Look at this Mini P.E.K.K.A. on the other lane, just getting 3 hits. I mean, his Dark Prince gets a little bit of damage, but, I mean, look at how much more that Mini P.E.K.K.A. got. His whole tower is practically gone. And yeah, I mean, it's just this deck is just basically made on defending, getting positive Elixir trades, unlike this one, with your Mini P.E.K.K.A.s, with your E-Barbs, with your mirrored up cards, and then just using those cards on the counter push and just getting a massive counter push and just destroying your opponent's towers. And yeah, I mean, it's a really easy deck to play. It's a really easy deck to learn. I have no experience with Goblin Giant Sparky decks, and I mean, I'm 4-1. Or well, we'll see what happens after. Yeah, but okay, I went 4-1 in this challenge with it so far, and I'm just getting started. It's just such an easy deck to play. I mean, I just placed the bats into the Zap. Doesn't matter. No, Goblin Giant takes tower. I think it was the E-Barb that took tower. And now we get a Mini P.E.K.K.A. down. We just Sparky in the pocket. That Dark Prince just dead. And yeah, I mean, he's gonna arrows. He just gives up. I'm just mirrored up my Zap. Just want to get out of here as soon as possible. I know I've won. I drop a GG. And yeah, this tech, I mean, there's a demonstration. It's just so easy to learn. You don't have to be good. You don't really have to have experience with the deck. You can get wins with this deck just easily. It doesn't matter if you have experience, if you're good. Because I have neither. And yeah, I'm just off to a really good start in this challenge. So if you're looking for a deck to play, you're still kind of watch this and you're unsure what you want to play in this challenge, I think this is a really good option. So yeah. I accidentally I think I meant the Sparky in the lane of the Musketeer, but again, I mean, who cares, whatever. Our Mega Minion kills off that Musketeer, we go Bats. We overspend, we take a ton of Hog Rider damage, but we still have so much time to come back in this game. He has to kind of spend a Fireball there, which I don't think he really wanted to do. And yeah, I mean, we're down a ton of damage, but this is super easily comebackable. We've got Mini P.E.K.K.A., E-Barbs, Mirror. We've got so many ways to counter the Hog with our Sparky. And I mean, I just messed up earlier. I didn't have E-Barbs or Mini P.E.K.K.A. in cycle, and I Sparkied in the wrong lane. But yeah, our Mini P.E.K.K.A. here is going to get a solid hit. I just go Sparky the bridge. Probably not the greatest play, but again, who cares? I thought he was going to go Skeletons, so I pre-zapped nothing. But yeah, kind of unfortunate here. I was just making some bad plays. But even in this spot, where I've just made bad play after bad play after bad play, it looks like he's got so much Elixir coming at me with that Hog Rider or Musketeer. I just got Bats. He basically takes my whole tower here. The Musketeer does die, but my whole tower is practically gone. I haven't done a hint of damage to him. And this is still a winnable game. He goes with a mirrored Hog Rider. I get my Mini P.E.K.K.A. down. He takes my tower here. Hog's going to go towards the 3 crown. And I mean, anyway, I haven't done a point of damage. And I would say it's looking pretty rough at this point. I'm trying to hold a zap for the skeletons, but he just goes cannon and ice golem. So I just go Sparky the back here. And he does go with a musketeer in the pocket, which only gets like 2 hits, so I just ignore it. And no, he might not have the elixir for a big push. I could have gone E-Barbs, but I know I wouldn't have the elixir to build up a big push. So I just eat some damage on my 3 crown so I can take it. Go Goblin Giant in front. Mega Minion. He doesn't get down the Ice Golem in time. Sparky shoots onto the tower. That Ice Golem gets shredded, and the Sparky just smacks his tower. A beautiful zap comes down, allowing that, or I think, so the Mini P.E.K.K.A gets a hit and takes out his tower. He keeps Hog Rider on the 3 crown. Gets a bit of chip, but then he goes with a mirrored Hog Rider in the right lane, and we had the mirrored E-Barbs for that. Just look at the counter push. Pretty insane. I mean, and yeah, the Hog Rider gets 1 hit, but we just got so much counter push. We keep making him overspend. I get a Mini P.E.K.K.A down. I zap here to avoid all damage. I go Goblin Giant in the pocket in front of my Sparky. He gets down an Ice Golem. Gets taken out in 1 hit. I went with Bats thinking he would go with Skeletons. But he doesn't, and it allows the Sparky to get 2 hits with basically no defense. And we get a Mini P.E.K.K.A down. He does get 1 hit on my tower, but by that point it's already game over. And a game that I just started out playing absolutely horribly. He just kind of panics. We just get crazy counter push, and we take both of his towers. With having a tower down and no damage on either, we take both, come back, huge win. And anyway, hopping into this 3rd game, you can just see the comeback potential you have with this deck with just limited skill. I want to play a cycle deck like 2.6 Hog because like the elixir sped up a little bit, and they're also not that like helped by the rage comparatively to a deck like this. He goes E-Giant in the back, so I go Sparky the back. Obviously, the Sparky is very good into Electro Giant. The Electro Giant doesn't do reflection damage, and it doesn't reset the Sparky at all. And Sparky just does crazy damage on it. So yeah, I go with mirrored Mini P.E.K.K.A here, just trying to protect my Sparky and make like a big counter push. And yeah, it works out pretty well here. I think we almost kill the E-Barbs fully, excuse me. And then yeah, we get the E-Barbs and the Mega Minion on the counter push. He gets a fireball down, but those E-Barbs are just gonna get so much damage, especially that 1 E-Barb, taking his tower down to about half health. And yeah, I mean, just like that, I mean, you can see just the firepower with this deck. It's just insane. I go Bats with the bridge. With the rage, I think they do get a hit or 2. Actually, they don't because of the tower's rage. I just go with Zap here to cycle. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I go Mini P.E.K.K.A. Mini P.E.K.K.A, another card, super high damage, so it's just going to like hit the E-Giant really hard and take down most of its health. It's really good into E-Giant. And yeah, so I go with the Sparky here. I think he does go with some pretty good E-Barbs there, opposite lane pressure when I have limited elixir. But I managed to get down my E-Barbs, only taking a hit or 2. I just go Bats to support my Sparky. He actually misses them with the zap, and they're going to get a bunch of damage. He goes with a fireball, but it doesn't get down, and the Sparky blasts and take his... It blasts and takes his tower. Excuse me. And yeah, so we're already up 1-0. I'm just cycling my zaps at this point for a little bit of chip, just trying to play it slow. I don't want to get like pushed into it with an E-Giant, be unprepared. But at this point, I'm pretty confident he's quit, but turns out he hasn't. He goes with the E-Barbs, so I go with the Sparky here. Our opponent actually makes a really good play. He zaps that and allows the E-Barbs Heal Spirit to get onto my tower, taking it down to 10 HP. But, you know, it's Sparky Goblin Giant in the Rage game mode, so I just go with a level 13 Sparky, Mini P.E.K.K.A the pocket, and the Mini P.E.K.K.A just runs right in. He's got no answer for it, takes his whole tower. And yeah, our other Sparky, he just forgets about it, and you can't do that. It takes down, it takes about 2,400 damage in the opposite lane. E-Barb and Mega Minion lock on at the tower, and and our Goblin Giant comes in and finishes it off. That's going to be a good game. And yeah, I mean, the deck is just so easy. It's just, you can just practically place almost any cards. Just support your Sparkies or have something taken for your Sparkies. And it'll almost always work. Hopping into our last game here against Mini Axel. I did lose a game. I forget what to. But I did end up losing a game in between. Obviously, it's not an unbeatable deck. You do have to obviously play a little bit. You know, Clash Royale, you can get beat in this game. So, but yeah, but it's a pretty no skill deck. Our opponent's got the right idea with the Sparky in his deck too. Sparky Giant Skeleton though. The Giant Skelly Bomb explodes the Sparky, And here again, I go with a zap on the Sparky and the tower, stopping his Sparky from shooting mine, though his barb barrel comes down late, and our Sparky shot hits his Sparky, splashes onto his tower, taking about 1900, doing about like 19 or 1800 damage on his tower, and killing his Sparky because of that zap. So a very good zap there. And yeah, I mean, he's going to kind of spam into us with the Hunter, Golden Knight, Giant Skelly. That was a pretty bad, like, mirror E-barbs because the Golden Knight dashed onto them and the Hunter just kills them. But the Giant Skelly and the Golden Knight did get defended pretty well by that. And I mean, here I'm not even really worrying. The Hunter dies. We do miss one of the E-barbs pulls. We do miss the pull on one of the E-barbs, our Mini P.E.K.K.A. But, I mean, 11,032 damage. That's tied with our damage, so we're still tied for the damage lead. And then we obviously have 1,400 damage in the opposite lane. He's going to get a bit of damage here taking the lead, but obviously the amount of alternate lane damage we have is still crazy. So he gets it down to 92 here, but I'm going to Goblin Giant with the Sparky, knowing he doesn't really have anything great for it. He has his own Sparky. But here again, I go with a great zap. And my Sparky places a Hunter, but my Sparky still is going to lock onto that Hunter, kill the Hunter, splash onto the tower, take his tower. Full health Sparky comes down, kills one E-barb. And now I know he spent the E-barbs. He's got, like, basically no elixir to defend these E-barbs and a clunky cycle. And yup, just like that, E-barbs in the opposite lane just take his tower. I missed the pull on the Mini P.E.K.K.A, or on the E-barb with my Mini P.E.K.K.A, but what does it matter? We take 1,400 damage and just go with some bats. He did go with some last-second zappies to kind of help the, like, plug the wound a little bit from those E-barbs. Still took his tower. He goes to the poison here, but his whole push basically dies to my Sparky. He does take my tower. We still have 1,500 HP here. And again, another pretty good timed zap there, and the E-barbs will kill his Sparky, forcing out the zappies and the barb barrel. I know I've forced out more elixir than he can really drop, so I just go with the Mini P.E.K.K.A with the Sparky. Unfortunately, it shoots one zappy. I just go with a mirrored Mini P.E.K.K.A and just allow my Sparky to just splash onto all his troops. With about 10 seconds left, there's no way he's going to take my 1,300 health tower. We go with the Goblin Giant in front. And just like that, it's a good game. So far, I'm 4-1. If you guys need a good deck for this challenge, I highly recommend this one. Very low skill, easy deck to get good dubs. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace. Yep, bye.